So you want to become a millionaire. You watch every single how to make money online video on YouTube, and you have read every single self-help book. You constantly hear people telling you that meditation or taking cold showers is the key to success. Well, they're all lying to you. In this video, I'm not going to tell you to read books or to meditate or to take cold showers, because let's face it, none of those things are going to make you a millionaire on their own. The 7 millionaire habits that I am going to share with you in this video have allowed me to start my own online business at the age of 17 and to build a life of abundance for myself ever since. The first millionaire habit that I implemented very early on in my journey was to learn to become a leader. One of the vital skills that you absolutely need to master in order to become a successful entrepreneur. It's the art of socializing. And by the art of socializing, what I mean is the art of understanding people and of leading the masses. An entrepreneur is someone who, by definition, is automatically put into a leadership position. So if you have very poor social skills, it's going to be one hell of a challenge to reach the top. Because while the solopreneur trend can take you further than where you currently are right now, if you're just starting out in your entrepreneur journey, the ones that make it to the top never do it alone. And really, why would you even want to do it alone? Smart entrepreneurs know and understand that succeeding isn't simply a matter of IQ or how smart or how talented you are. Succeeding is more a matter of finding and surrounding yourself with the right people. You've probably heard people tell you before that environment is everything, that you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. This is very true, and in that same spirit, a successful entrepreneur has to build a successful, loyal, and dedicated team that is going to be laser focused on a mission that they set for themselves. One of the keys to Henry Ford's success, the man who revolutionized the automobile industry in the early 20th century, was to surround himself with people that were smarter and more talented than he was. So if you want to become a successful entrepreneur and build gigantic wealth, you need to learn how to lead other people and to hire people that are going to be a lot more skilled and a lot more talented than you are. The people that are stuck in the solopreneur phase because they let their ego dictate their decisions, they're not going to go very far. Now, I understand that at the beginning of your journey in business, you most likely are going to be forced to go through the solopreneur phase because you simply don't have enough capital yet to hire and build a team of talented people. But I would recommend that you try and get out of this phase as soon as you possibly can. The other millionaire habit that completely transformed my life, and this one also ties into the first millionaire habit that we just covered, was to listen more than I talk. Let me ask you this question. What's the best way to make a complete stranger like you and to remember you positively? The answer to that is to listen more than you talk. The reason for that is pretty much everybody loves to talk about themselves. We all know that one person who always brings the topic of the conversation back to themselves, no matter what, because they just want to talk about themselves and they're not really interested in listening to what you have to say. Research has shown that people who listen more than they talk are often rated as better conversationalists by other people. This is because listening is an essential component of effective communication, and individuals who actively listen demonstrate empathy, understanding, and interest in the other person's perspective. And you also have to understand that the less you speak, the more you are going to learn. Most people usually start to feel very insecure or embarrassed when the conversation suddenly goes silent. So they're going to try to fill in the blanks to relieve themselves of this unpleasant feeling. And while they do this, while they start babbling about this and that, you are listening quietly and you are learning a lot of valuable information. This is a tactic that is common practice, especially during sales calls or sales meetings. The sales rep is going to ask the potential buyer some questions and then go completely silent until the prospect is able to give a satisfying answer. And a lot of the time, the person on the other end of the call is going to start to feel quite uncomfortable by the silence, so they're just going to speak more and more, giving you a lot of valuable information and insight as to what they're thinking about. For an entrepreneur, it is essential to listen more than you talk. The reason for that is because as an entrepreneur, you need to understand what your market desperately needs and wants. If you don't understand the painful, burning needs and desires of your target market, you are going to go broke very quickly. In fact, a common mistake that most beginners make in business is to try to sell something that people simply are not interested in. Copywriting cannot create desire in people. The job of copywriting is only to bring out the pre-existing desires and needs of the prospect, to tap into those desires and to create a sense of urgency or need for a particular product or service. The third millionaire habit that I implemented was to base my present moment decisions on their long-term outcomes and the consequences rather than on their day-to-day present moment unpleasant consequences. I'm sure you've already watched a lot of videos telling you that instant gratification and dopamine is ruining your life and holding you back from reaching your highest potential. And sometimes these videos, even some of my own, advise you to totally refrain from any sort of activities that will give you instant gratification. Because you see, what instant gratification really is, it's a sedative. Do you really think that someone who's on their purpose, on their mission, they're going to be engaging in instant gratification 24/7? Do you really think that the highest possible version of yourself, the most successful, the wealthiest version of yourself, do you really think that this version of you, the first thing that they do when they wake up is to grab their phone, to open up Instagram, TikTok, and to start scrolling? Or do you think that this version of you, that is everything that you could possibly ever dream of being, do you think that this version of you would rather follow a healthy and productive morning routine to start their day on the right foot? So while it isn't about restricting yourself every single day of your life for the rest of your life, it's about making smart decisions and smart choices as often as possible. Think about it. The more time that you are wasting, the more time that you spend scrolling on social media, binge watching Netflix, watching adult films, it's time and energy that you cannot put into becoming the highest possible version of yourself. Do you really think that at the end of your life, when you're on your deathbed and you're thinking back to everything that you went through, everything that you did or didn't do you really think that you are not going to regret all of that time that you spent scrolling on social media, watching other people live their lives instead of fully living yours and making every single one of your dreams happen? The thing that you absolutely must remember is that while it may feel good to do those activities right now, you are robbing your future self from all of the health, the wealth, the abundance, and the freedom that you could have. The other millionaire habit that completely changed my life, and that is guaranteed to change yours, was to face all of my biggest fears. One day, a very wealthy businessman who was running a $12 million empire every single year told me this thing. He said, the successful people that you see, they don't have less fear that you do, they just have more courage. This was the day that I realized that the things that I thought were holding me back were not the things that were actually holding me back. The only person who was stopping me from achieving greatness, it was me. The only thing that was still holding me back from achieving my highest potential was my lack of willingness to go through pain and fear. No one likes to feel fear or to experience pain. Human beings are naturally, genetically, and biologically hardwired to run away from anything that's painful or unpleasant or that we think is scary, and in that same spirit, we are also wired to seek out the things that bring us pleasure and comfort. Back when we used to hunt for food on a regular basis, like our hunter-gatherers ancestors, this biological makeup proved itself very useful and in fact life-saving. However, in today's world, in the modern era, if you are able to watch this video right now, then it means that you have an internet connection and also an electronic device. So you're probably part of the more affluent part of the world, and you are not going to have to go into the wilderness on a daily basis to hunt for food. All you need to do is to go pick something up from the fridge or to go grocery shopping. And it's not like you're going to encounter a grizzly bear or a saber-toothed tiger in the supermarket. For most of us who live regular, comfortable lives, we don't really have to push ourselves that hard or to go through that much pain or discomfort on a daily basis. Starting an online business really had me push what I thought were my limits at the time. When I first started my marketing/consulting agency at 18 years old, I had to blast through so many fears, such as the fear of interacting with other people. I used to be afraid to even just leave the house. I used to be terrified of calling people on the phone, but one day I decided that enough was enough, and I later on went on to conduct more sales calls than I can even count. You are going to considerably improve every single aspect of your life if you set yourself daily or weekly challenges that you can do in order to face your fears and to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You have to remember that in the process of becoming a better version of yourself, of fulfilling your highest potential, and of turning all of your dreams into a reality, you will inevitably have to make some sacrifices and go through pain. You are the sculptor, but you are also the marble. The fifth millionaire habit, and perhaps one of the most important ones that I started to implement early on in my life, was to create more than I consume. The thing is, this habit is quite paradoxical, because just like the teachers are first and foremost the best students, I highly believe that the best creators are the best consumers. For instance, if you have a YouTube channel like me, how could you possibly create the best, most engaging content if you never ever consume content on YouTube? The best way to understand your target market, to understand their needs, their pains, their desires, it is to be your target market yourself. Some of you managed to build incredible physiques after putting in a lot of effort and dedication in the gym. Your story showcasing how you went from skinny to ripped could inspire hundreds of thousands of people, even millions of people all over the world. Some people would definitely be willing to pay you to learn how you did it and how they can do it too. Some of you managed to beat a terrible disease that almost robbed you of life itself. Some of you are very knowledgeable on video editing, on sales, on appointment setting, whatever it is. I truly believe that there is is a gift in each and every single one of us, and the world is simply waiting for you to reveal, to share your gift with it. What is stopping you from going from the consumer category to the creator category and starting to generate a steady stream of income? Now, creating doesn't necessarily mean having to create content per se, such as making YouTube videos. If you are the owner of a marketing agency, reaching out to potential customers, writing video sales letters, creating ad campaigns, or short-form content pieces for your clients falls within the creator category. In life, the outputs that you get simply derive from your inputs. Understand that if you create more, you will get more as a result. If you are not satisfied with your current results, the solution might come from doing more rather than doing less. I hope that you implement these lessons because you truly have the power to completely transform your life. And with that said, I will see you in the next one.